put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, viewers, and welcome back to the Tobago Updates morning show, coming to you here live from the Port Mall in Scarborough, Tobago. In this segment, viewers, we are chatting with Sergeant Joseph Jordon of the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service. Good morning to you and welcome.
Good morning to you. Good morning to your viewing and listening audience. Good morning to Trinidad and Tobago by extension. Thanks for having me.
All right, excellent. So, we start with our usual updates. Right. Where are we at in terms of the progress that Trinidad and Tobago, and more specifically Tobago, is looking for in terms of the crime-fighting initiatives?
All right, so our basic aspect as it relates to our crime, so our serious report crimes, we're going to compare January 1 to June 24th, and we're going to compare 2022 versus 2023. So our serious report crimes stood at 391 in 2022. This year, it stands at 291, 100 crimes less, which gives us a 26% decrease. Our detection rate stands at 28%, which is much lower than 2022, which was, we had a figure on average of 40. Our detection rate stood at 40% in 2022, and that is posing a little problem. However, the aspect of reduction in SRCs is good. However, it's bad as it relates to the detection in our crime. We are working on that, and we have put a number of measures in place. We have the Joint Army Patrols. We have our other stakeholders participating and putting the number of initiatives in place. Our murder figure stands at 7 as compared to 4 last year. Our tower crimes, or the crimes that are challenging to the island, remains breaking and general larceny. Robbery in particular has seen some mobility in the recent times, and this is a trend that we have been observing over the last few years. As we approach the July-August holidays, we have events such as the Island Crashers, we have events such as Great Fed, Great Race, and all the other activities that would come during this time. And as a result of those activities, sometimes there are increases in mini-marts being robbed, persons, larceny of articles from persons. So it almost comes to the fact that persons are trying to make a hustle to sometimes go to these events. So we want to encourage persons to up their ante, use whatever protective measures that you can put in place, CCTV camera, additional lighting. We know we might be having a lot of new employment. So persons who are just out of school, maybe looking for a job, we may have visitors on the island as well. So we want to encourage persons to be careful as to who you hire, do the necessary background checks, communicate with the police, get a certificate of character if need be, speak to the persons in the community as to who you are employing. So this is where we are on the updates as it relates to crime.
What are the efforts, particularly in these times, on the part of the TTPS to reassure persons, that even as you are referring to, in these high seasons, we got the Heritage Festival lineup coming. We just out of a busy in terms of the Easter period. We got the July-August happenings here in Tobago. We have the Great Race lineup, Great Fete weekend. You name the activity, Tobago is booked well beyond capacity. Yeah. There are some who have the fear and the concern that the TTPS just does not have the capacity and manpower to be able to stand up to that. How do you reassure the citizens that all efforts are being made in that direction?
Right, so even prior to the July-August, we have put things in place as it relates to preserving and protecting our island of Tobago and by extension Trinidad. We often call on our counterparts from Trinidad, so the Interagency Task Force, Guard and Emergency Brand, along with our personnel in Tobago. We collaborate as well with the Army to do whatever it takes to ensure that the safety of Tobagonians and the visitors are taken care of. So as I mentioned earlier, we would have our Joint Army Patrol, we would have our walkabout, we have a lot more increases in our patrols along our nation road, whether it be foot, mobile, bicycle, even if once they allow the resources allow, we'll even have the horses as well doing patrols along the various parts of Tobago. So the police are doing what they need to do. We are increasing our efforts in trying to get all the resources that is necessary during this time, because as you just said, this is a busy time for Tobago, and we are out there. We have been out there for the last few months. I can go further to even say that when we look at the calendar of activities for the year or for the years in Tobago, Tobago is always busy, starting from January right down to Christmas with the inclusion of our Tobago Carnival in October. So there's almost no downtime in Tobago. So we continue to put the necessary things in place to ensure that the safety of the persons are taken care of.
So you mentioned it a little earlier. Unfortunately, in Tobago, we are already at, I think it is 7 murders.
Yes, we are.
For the year. What kind of progress would you say that the TTPS has made in terms of really getting to that point, in terms of finding the perpetrators?
I can assure you, if it's one thing the Tobago Division is highly noted for and highly praised for, is solving murders. Records have shown that even in times gone by, we would have had even 100% solve rate in murders. Despite it may take some time. Now, we would have recorded 7 of murders for the year thus far, and we would have detected 2. So there are 5 others outstanding. But I assure you that the Homicide Department and other arms of the Tobago Division are working, and I know they are working because information will come from time to time as to updates as to what is going on. Obviously, not all that information will be placed in the public domain, because if you have a little clue, you don't want to put it out there to make it more difficult for you to locate the perpetrators of these crimes. But they are working on it, and in due course, we would see additional charges and additional arrests being made as it relates to those murders that would have transpired in Tobago. Sometimes the motive of these crimes or these murders are sometimes very opaque, and it is very difficult to identify who the person may have been associating with, or what might have actually, as I said, the actual cause of these murders. And so it takes a lot of digging, and this is where even our cybercrime unit comes in. So we have to check records and all these things to ensure that we can track down these persons and bring them to justice. Because the worst thing is for someone to be murdered and you don't know it, so the family is in grief for many years. And this is one of the aspects that we have to take care of when it comes to crime: the family-oriented aspect, the social, the emotional distress that is bestowed upon these families and friends. And it is not a very easy task to know that someone was, or their life was snuffed out, and you don't have a clue why it was done.
Especially based on our culture.
Our culture, yeah.
I mean, it can affect anyone under the circumstances. Final 30 seconds, your closing comments as we wrap this morning's interview. All
right, so this morning, I just want to encourage persons to practice safety, personal safety. As we're looking at the July-August holidays, which is very busy, which would most likely be the topic for the next few weeks. Persons going to the beach, secure your personal items. Do not go to the beach with your personal items, as a matter of fact, because why would you want to go to the beach with your passport, especially if you've been a traveling person? Secure it in an area that you can retrieve it. The driving on the roadway, we had a series of accidents over the weekend. We want to encourage person, be safe, observe the speed limit, going out in parties, go in groups, approaching park in well-lit areas, secure your vehicle. And on going to your vehicle, one of the points I want to make sure, have your keys in hand to enter your vehicle. Not when you reach your vehicle, you're looking in your bag for your keys. Have it in hand so that you can enter your vehicle, get in, secure, and drive off.
All right, excellent. Thank you very much there, Sergeant Joseph Jordon, joining us here on set for the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, giving us a little insight into the happenings, the progress that the TTPS has been making, and more so tips and some guidance going into this July-August period, which is the vacation period, but certainly a very active time in terms of events, activities, and happenings here on the island. Viewers, we want to thank you so much for your continued love and support and for choosing the Tobago Updates morning show. At this point, we want to remind you that this is your opportunity to share the live, share the live, share the live.